Our final poet is Mimi Gurman, who is the author of Beneath the Gravel Weight of Stars, which was also a finalist in the Poetry Chapbook Prize for 2021. Mimi Gurman is a poet, an activist, an organizer, and an advocate and co-founder of Jason Barnes Landing, a houseless community and transitional village in St. John's in Portland. She is also the co-founder of the People's Housing Project based in Portland, and her poems have been published in The Hopper, The Mantle, Three Line Poetry, New Verse News, and recorded and archived as testimony in the Portland City Council sessions from 2017 to 2020. Mimi divides her time between living in the remote wilderness of Steens Mountain and Portland, Oregon. Please welcome Mimi Gurman.
Thanks, Sean. I noticed that there are generations of my life among the guests in this Zoom. There are people here who I've known since I was 15. There are people from the middle generation of my life and from this very latter generation of my life in Portland. And I want to acknowledge that Steve Kimes is here, and Steve is somebody who has helped me become who I am with my work with houseless people. He paved the way here for my knowledge and many people's knowledge with how we can take land back and use it with the people who are currently occupying it, who have no homes. And these poems are for those people. And I decided today that I'm going to start with the dedication in the book, because I always want to acknowledge that these are the people who make my heart swell and show me what is real when I can't find the light. So this is the dedication. When the wood is too wet to burn, I will feed you melons and the songs of birds. To all my brothers and sisters trying to survive on the streets in St. John's, Oregon, thank you for sharing your lives with me, your incredible courage and your love. May you survive another night. I love you with all my heart. These poems are for you. This first poem, I have to say, was written at a time when we were having meteor showers. And I'm fascinated by science. I'm fascinated by what happens in the whole planetary system out there. So there are words in here that are taken from the names of meteor showers. So if you don't know what I'm saying, it's a meteor shower name. The other side of the coffee shop window. His back sags against the crush of crescent moon. Across the shatter, beneath the gravel weight of stars, the fisted arms of God pleat to his back, shoving him forward into the sidewalk cracks. Even the wheels of his cart are sullen, bent from the handling and the crash of cosmic debris, the bulldoze of shade. Across the seep, the concrete line, the drunken dodge of burning snowballs, the head limp, the turnaways. Ursids whisper in the door jam. Over on 12th and Johnson, Perseid hovels at the tracks. Lyrids stoke a paper fire. Is it a star gown dance or the survival of lambs roasting round the spit where wrinkles and jowls grow from no surprises? The rise, the fall, shallow waters or high tide, his feet are always wet. So again, these are all poems that are images that I see on the street. Most of these come from things I've witnessed, sometimes close up and sometimes from afar. This poem is called Despite. The thorn of winter's buds sprout the harp strings of spring. Beneath the wisps of the bending branch, tent people murmur, huddle round the candle fire, the sweet honeysuckled vine. It is 4 a.m. Dark tendrils retract. Forsythia yawns. Remnants of a leaf tuck into mud. The pink tutu clings to the receding wing of night. Bluebird shuffles on the perch, the sheer ghost of morning. This is about a very close friend of mine who lives on the street. I have a few in here about him. This is called North Fessenden. He wears the worn kilter and the right hand lean of the weight of a man. Torso bends heavy on his cane, waiting for a bus. He turns a page in the cracks of the sidewalk. Looks like Burroughs, but I call him St. John. The necktie of hustle smears the greasy air. Potholes breed poets in these parts, stammering like starlings. And he is syntax framed. This is the garden, he's wild chard. City workers paint the lines. Kicked up stones crack the windshields of the parishioners of the Church of Daylight Savings, where sun seeps into cracks and the doors are always locked. I think that one of the things that I noticed in writing these, in the beginning of my time writing these poems, was that, first of all, people don't see houseless people because, like we were just saying, we don't want to see the things that make us either upset or just wreck our day. And so I recognized early on that these bring, for me, visibility to all of those who are invisible. And in doing so, I see such beauty and such irony and tragedy and sorrow, but I also see love in the weirdest places. And I wish for all of you, I wish for everyone that you could see that too. So I try with these, to present that and give that to you, because I believe in loving more and loving harder. This poem is called Afflicted. She held her breath as if she was holding God. When she could no longer stand it, when her eyes bulged like a blowfish on a hook, she exhaled and God let go of her. Sometimes she waited for angels to appear in the silence, not knowing that the silence was an angel appearing. The doctor said she was afflicted because she could not shut her eyes. She dreamed she never slept, which wasn't a dream. She was the colors of all things, and all things were she. In the early morning hour, she would lay on the ground, feeling the moon tied tightly to her belly. She was its rock tied to a tree. When the ground swayed, she laughed on her swing. As the moon exhaled, she tucked in the season's corners. She collected leaves and sometimes dust. She walked the shimmering trail of scales, tiptoeing the jangled light. She rubbed her skin in luminescent sand to feel whole, dipping her tilt into the lost lake. She wasn't certain of the footings, but she knew the notes of wind. Yesterday, she met a young man who was high on living. He told her, no matter what, there is beauty. She thought he looked like a spirit. A truck blew its horn, startling her back into the stark. She inhaled. One of the things I try to do with these poems in making them visible in order to help make invisible people visible is I do what I guess I call guerrilla art, and I make these huge. I turn these poems into 7-foot high pieces of paper and then glue them onto buildings that are vacant or bus stops or walls where houseless people live, and try to bring what goes on for houseless people to the community. And that's just, it's another way to, first of all, get poetry out there, right? And also bring some visibility to this issue. This happened. This is called Noon in the Park. This is about another friend of mine. He dragged in his hand a 3-legged chair, visible only to him. It was made of oak, or was it maple? The faded yellow paint was chipping and one leg had fallen off. He found it this way on the path. Slowly, like a tattered paper crane opening, he bent the tall sky beneath his thin body to sit on the invisible chair. He wobbled for balance. Crows spread out beside him to hold on for the steady. The squirrels came by to see the scene. The man on the invisible chair stood up, pushed the chair over and yelled, "All I want is to have a shower." He paused. "And to clean my balls." He stood on one foot, his other leg shaking like a crooked cane at the wind and the squirrels and at the sky. But then he bowed a deep, quiet bow, humbling himself to the wet, muddy ground, and sat down once more on his chair made of air. Sean, I'm noticing the time. Is it okay to read more? It's okay? This one, okay, this is called number 29. I have a few in the book that are titled number, and then there are various numbers, and that's because I love art. And I feel sometimes like I'm just painting a painting with words. These are word paintings sometimes. And when I feel that it's a word painting, I number them with random numbers. This is number 29, opaque pastel on crepe paper. Her hustle beneath headphones and a Johnny Deuce. No rain, no wet. The bone shiv of winter waits in the cracked lips of clouds. Meantime, 13 cans is a free lunch. No dog is dogging today. Lombard is the slot machine. This one is called Day 50. She tucks her slink beneath the rickety socket. Inside these bones of horns, birds. She crawls into dreams past the man who stole the fallen star for a $20 bag. And I'll end on this one. This one is called Streets of Gods. And this is for a good friend of mine who is on his way into housing. Yes, Streets of Gods. Butchie, that is my friend's name. Butchie felts a wide-brimmed hat, been scorching fire air for weeks. The rope of fragile branches sway inside his faded jeans. He got a new red striped shirt. I see him cross the lot. He bends like a water bird reaching into the trash. One arm points to God for balance, the other to the circus. He's looking good, handsome, angular. He's a good-looking man. Loosely bound, the curve of his gray. A ponytail rides his spine, so Castro today. A stub of a cigarette smokes curls around his worn bulbs. A bronzed god. His thick nails carry earth like hide. The street tan, he is poetry. Where you been? He drawls, leans into the car's half-cracked window. Hey, I thought that was you. Here and there, been on the farm. Yeah, you look good. Where you been hanging? At the cut. Saw they swept everyone the other day. Yeah, we moved to the other side, it's cool. Do you need anything? Yeah, nothing, really. I'm good. Smoke comes out his nostrils, his lips. He's on his horse, divine. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, everyone, for listening and for being here. How beautiful.
Mimi, thank you so much for writing a gorgeous, compassionate collection of poems. We all know there's so much chatter in the news about the homeless issues across all the cities across America, and so many failed attempts at a solution. And there's such a not in my backyard attitude with everybody. And these poems just beautifully bring it back to that human perspective. The way you interweave the desperation with charity, with glimpses of beauty, really forces us to realize the complexity of the situation, and reminds us that these people are individuals and they need to each be heard, and they need individual solutions. And I can't thank you enough for writing and sharing these poems with us. And thank you for all your hard work to actually make a difference and help the houseless and to give them a voice. You are to be commended for all your hard work. And when you mentioned that Butchie is going to a house, tears came to my eyes, because I know how hard you work with these people to actually find them a home and find them a solution. So you are an angel. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having us today, Sean.